Hey guys, so I just wanted to record this video and take advantage of this nasty thing on my face. This one was more like the regular pimple that I'm used to getting every now and then. This is not a pimple. I had one right here too. It's just kind of like a facial skin tag, and I'm in the process of getting it removed and putting medicine on it. But I wanted to use these two friends as examples and expand on what I said yesterday. So yesterday, whenever I was doing my makeup in the video in stories, I said when you have a blemish, it's natural to want to go as light in shade as you possibly can, cover it up, brighten it, and then put your normal color over it, right? Well, that's not only 2 layers, but it draws more attention to it, and lighter colors actually show texture on the skin more than darker colors. So I've got my highlights here. This is the plethora of mascara highlights, and I'm going to show you what I would do for coverage here. So what people kind of assume to do when they have a blemish like this is to go really, really light and conceal. Use your lightest color, grab the lightest color and conceal. So I'm going to use my multitasker brush here. It's got a super tiny end and then more of a paddle end. That is what I like to conceal with or do my brows, small things with this brush. So if I were to make that assumption and take the lightest shade, Moonlit, or White Peach, or Aura, all of those are too light for me. So if I used any of those, you can see how it's really red, it's really irritated. If I go in with a light color and try to conceal it, what happens? Do you see? I've not only brought more attention to it, I'm going to blend it out a little. I've not only brightened it and actually brought attention to it, but I've created texture that wasn't even there in the first place. And it's still red. It's still red. It didn't even cover it. So now we're like, okay, that didn't work. So we brightened it and concealed it. Let's go in with our normal color, which is June, and put our regular color on top. Okay, so that works some better, but look, we've got too many layers going on. You can see all the texture, you can see how it's raised. It did no good for my face. It just created kind of a bigger issue that wasn't even there, and it's not even blending in. Like say I did my whole face, it kind of just makes it look worse. So we're going to take that off. Let me get a little bit of water. I probably shouldn't be putting makeup on it, but in this process of trying to remove it, but at the same time I want to use it as an example and show you how to conceal things. So makeup is kind of like the color wheel. If you look at the color wheel, it's like Roy G. Biv, right? We learned that as kids. So if you have something on your face that is very purpley and irritated and blue around the edge and it's red in the middle, you want something that's very orangey to counteract it, not something that's white. So if you're looking at your color wheel, there's makeup on my finger. Go, say okay, so we have the color wheel. Why is my brain not working? If we have something that, like say you have brown eyes, the opposite side of that is blue and green. You want blue and green eyeshadows. Same thing when you're trying to conceal. This is blue and green kind of around the outside and red right in the middle. So we don't want a light white color causing more reflection and more attention and more texture. So we're actually going to go in with a color that's the opposite of those purples and greens, which is orangey. So this is not my tone at all. This is mango. It's totally not my color. But when I go in and I put the littlest bit and I just tap that orangey color on, Look at how that just blends into my skin. We're gonna do the same thing here. Very red, irritated, swollen. Tap that orangey color in. And it completely disappears. So not only is this more orange than white and yellow, it's also darker. So you don't want to go light and bright always to conceal. Where did I put that? You just tap a little bit of that darker shade on. It's still not perfect. I mean, you cannot make it disappear. But do you see how that texture that was all white and yucky is not there? So then if I wanted to, I could take my brush, dip it into my normal color. I'm just gonna do my chin to show you how it kind of all blends. Do you see that? Everything is just blending. I mean, we cannot make it completely disappear, but there's no added texture. It's not white, it's not bumpy and lumpy, it's not cakey looking. If I were to take a step back, you can hardly even tell that it's there if I wasn't drawing so much attention to it. So when you have to conceal something, don't assume that you want the lightest shade or the brightest shade. Sometimes going darker is actually a better disguise, and it's a better color corrector. That's what you are trying to do. It's the same thing with your under eyes. My under eyes are kind of like purpley blue, so I want a more orangey shade. If I were to go in with the lightest shade under my eyes, right there, Moonlit, it's going to look nice and light and bright from far away. But if you get up close, you're going to see